In this video, I go behind the release of Brazilian Portuguese Casefile dub, and it's the latest podcast from Casefile Presents, which I co-produced. The podcast is available now, so check it out, especially if you speak Brazilian Portuguese. Links in the description below. Hi, I'm Mike from Casefile and Casefile Presents. On this channel I'm releasing videos on podcasting and audio production, so if you enjoy the content, hit subscribe and notification buttons. We talked about dubbing Casefile episodes for new territories in the past, but nothing ever came out of it. Then, at some point, a production company actually contacted us and offered their services. They said they're gonna translate the episodes and do the whole work. We said, well, that sounds fantastic, but nothing ever came out of it. So the idea was shelved and we kind of forgot it for a time being. Sometime after that, Casefile host stumbled upon Silent Waves podcast, which is a show that takes you into Raquel O'Brian family. It's a raw, eye-opening podcast, and we knew we want to release it under Casefile Presents umbrella. So I've done a quick mix on it, and it was de facto the first Casefile Presents show, not an original, but more of a remaster. After the release of Silent Waves, we stayed in touch with Raquel, and she was keen on doing something else with us. At some point then, she proposed doing a Brazilian Portuguese dub of Casefile episodes as she speaks the language. That's for the Latin American release. And she said she'll take care of it all, translation, finding the right person, booking the studios and producing the whole dub. And we said, well, that sounds like a lot of work, but Raquel was adamant that she wants to do it and she wanted to expose us to these new territories. Well, we agreed and she got to work. Casefile catalog has now over 170 episodes, and obviously we weren't to, dub all of them. We wanted to do that seasonally, so season 1 would have a selection of 10 episodes, and if that goes well, then we'll do another and another and another. So we've made our selection with Raquel, and she started translating the episodes. The first script that she's done was brilliant. It was, Brazilian Portuguese translation with English lines underneath it, with notes, with comments, really, outstanding work. However, first we want to see if the whole idea works at all. So after she's done the first script, we then commenced the production of that first episode, and that was the Erickson Twins episode, original Case 17 on Casefile feed. Raquel found a Brazilian Portuguese narrator who would also stay anonymous. She selected the studio and supervised the session. I've done a quick job on the audio so everyone could hear it, and we were happy with the results, so we greenlit the first season. And then the pandemic struck and Brazil went into lockdown. That meant Raquel couldn't produce any more episodes. Well, we've tried one studio that was open, but the work they sent was just substandard, so we've decided to wait until the regular place opens back up. It was after a few months that this happened, but in the meantime Raquel was translating the rest of the script, so no time was wasted. And when the studio was running, she supervised, she produced the rest of the episodes, and all went super smooth. When the project was greenlit, Casefile host asked me if I want to hire someone, over Brazil to produce the audio, to do the episodes. And I said to him, look, mate, that's what I've actually done before working on Casefile. And I didn't mention it on this channel that I worked at the movie studio. I've actually worked at the international sound department where we were prepping mixes for releases all around the world. So in short, dubbings. I told him I got this and I got to work. The process was actually quite simple, similar to what I do for Casefile. And they sent me the uncompressed WAV file, one stereo file, no mistakes, everything narrated to the script. For the edit, I used the exact same template I used for Casefile, but of course adjusted a tiny bit. And one thing that I did adjust was the EQ. because, the one I use is for our Australian narrator. This was for Portuguese, so I adjusted a little bit, but there wasn't that much difference, to be honest. When I was doing my flow edit, I had the script on the sticky there with English and Portuguese translation, so I could check where to sort of make the pauses or shorten it for the impact. It's kind of similar to what I do with Casefile, but I only have the English script, of course. And after I've done the flow edit, I then send the narration to Isotope RX, and within Isotope I run it through module chain. So I've got like the plosives, the clicks, the esser, things like that. Then I use the leveler, which works well with dynamic range and this kind of gain leveling process. It's like a gain rider, I guess. So I use that. Then I send it back to Pro Tools, and I use strip silence to get rid of everything in between the lines. Send it back to Isotope, and then use the ambience match to fill out the silence and create that background noise, but the constant level. So, the whole dialogue is seamless. The only problem I had was that when I was using strip silence, it cut off the ends of some words, letters like K or B or P, just at the end. And it was a compromise, so I knew the issues there, and then I did let Raquel know about it to, watch out for it. But I also have the original, switch it off, also got the original dialogue on top. So, during mixing or doing scoring or whatever, if I saw that, it looks different, then I could easily just grab that end and copy it, down and then fill it up. So that's how I sort of fixed it throughout. After the edits were done on the narration, came the scoring. And for this dub, I've done what we were actually doing at the movie studio, which is mixing the dub to original music and effects. So as far as the scoring goes, it was quite an easy process, because what I had to do, especially for the newer Casefile episodes, was to import the same score that I've done for the original episodes to the dub, and then do what mixing engineers has been doing at the movie studio where I worked, which is fit the dub to music and effects and, write the automation. So I've done just that, imported Mike's and Andrew's score and done the automation. Where I had a little bit more fun was working on the very old Casefile episodes, the ones that I created when I was still learning the ropes, and for some reason I was working in mono. I read online that podcasts should be in mono. I don't want to get into that right now, but for the first, I think it was like 20 episodes or something, I've done the score in mono. So I didn't want to create anything new, and I thought I'll have a little bit more fun. So what I've done is I've actually imported the mono score from that was like case 19. I wrote the volume automation, you can see it there, but I've also used Ozone 9 Imager for the spread. So I've actually created that wide stereo image with the plugin, and so just this kind of a shout back to these old Casefile episodes, and I thought it was really fun to do. After I ran the automation and mixed the episodes a bit, I've exported them as draft 1 and forwarded to Raquel for initial QC and feedback. And I've done my work on my AKG K712 Pro headphones. Raquel can speak the language, and that's why she was doing the initial QC. That stands for quality control. And she listened to the episodes on her headphones and came back to me with a list of notes. And that included re-records, pickups, adjustments, moving stuff about, and of course, cut off words. Her work was absolutely amazing, and back in my studio days, she would be on my QCing team, no doubt about it. I've done the fixes and then I commenced another mix. This time I've listened to my earbuds and I have a lot of different pairs and I switched between them to see how the mixes sound on normal consumer headphones. I've also switched on the MP3 codec option on Ozone 9 and that lets me hear how the audio will sound when compressed to MP3 file 128 kilobits per second in compressed quality. After doing all these tweaks and adjustments, I exported the episodes as finals. For the artwork, we've actually used the original Casefile artwork, but we want to be a little bit different. So, original Casefile artwork has this blue tonality to it. I've proposed that the Portuguese will be the same, but with a green tonality, as I was inspired by a Brazilian flag. For the name, we left Casefile, but added the extension in Portuguese, saying it's a Portuguese version, Portuguese dub. Paulina also prepped a simple website, and together with Raquel they worked on Instagram feed, and on that feed there are teasers in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, photos from each cases as well as the names of the episodes. It took a bit of work to prep all of it. Raquel was translating and Paulina was designing the artwork, so it was a fantastic team effort. The release of the first episode was set on the 17th of November 2020, with the second episode coming out a few days later. And we've decided on releasing 2 episodes per week, so 10 episodes in total, that would be 5 weeks of releases. Casefile host and Raquel worked on a marketing campaign. They've contacted a few influencers and created the ads. We've also run some ads on Casefile catalog, but they were geo-targeted, and shared the series on our social media. You never know who'll be interested in a Brazilian Portuguese dub, even though the majority of Casefile listeners are from English-speaking countries. We get listeners from all around the world. It's funny because when you think about dubbing, you usually think about hiring a production studio or people from that territory, from that country to do the audio work. And it was great that I was able to help, and I actually felt like being back at my old job at the movie studio. It was incredible that the work went full circle. Of course, if the series is successful and we can proceed and do more of them, then we'll look at finding someone else for help, because unfortunately I have to sleep sometime. The whole thing happened during 2020 lockdown, and at the same time I was working on normal Casefile episodes as well as the Vanishing of Vivian Cameron, both full-on productions. The Brazilian Portuguese dub of Casefile was actually quite relaxing project comparing to these other two, and I had a lot of fun working on that. And it was really cool listening to another Casefile host. I hope this video gave you insight into what went on behind the scenes of that Brazilian Portuguese dub of Casefile. I hope we do more of these, and maybe we'll do other languages as well in the future, who knows. For now, check out the podcast. It's available now wherever you listen to podcasts. You can share it, you can leave your review. That's it for today. I'm Mike Migas. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in the podcasting, check out the rest of my channel or my website mikemigas.com. For now, share, like or subscribe, and I'll see you later.